Good morning students. So this is class 11th physics and today we'll be starting the new chapter number 6, whose name is work, energy and power. So this is the lecture number 1 of chapter number 6. So the first term in the chapter is obviously work. Okay, so work is defined like this. So work is said to be done by a force when the body is displaced through some distance in the direction of applied force. That is, when we apply some force on a body, so it gets displaced in the direction of applied force. So then work is said to be done. Okay, so now, for example, look here, suppose this is any surface on which a body is kept, and if a force F is applied in this direction, making an angle theta with the horizontal direction. Okay, so this is the body, F is applied in this direction. Now suppose due to this force, this body displaces from this position to this, and let us say the small displacement is denoted by ds. Okay, so now if I resolve this force, so this side the component will be F cos theta and this component will be F sin theta. This you already know. So now what will be work done in this case? See, because displacement is in x-axis and the component of force which is applied in this axis is F cos theta. So in this case work done will be F cos theta into your displacement, that is ds. Okay, so we have taken the component of force in the direction of the displacement. Okay, so now if you compare it, this is a b cos theta, and as you know the formula of a dot b is ab cos theta. So work done is nothing but dot product of force applied and the small displacement. So this is F dot ds. Okay, now if I ask you in this particular case, what is the work done by this component of force and what is the work done by this component of force? There are two component of forces, right? Okay, so one more thing here, theta is the angle between F and ds, that is force and displacement. Okay, now if I am calculating work done due to F sin theta, so this is our force, this is our displacement. So that means angle between force and displacement is 90 degrees because we are talking about F sin theta only, not F. So angle between the force, this force and displacement is 90 degree. So now A dot B is AB cos theta, and as you know cos 90 is 0. So therefore work done by this force will come to be 0. Okay, so always remember, if force is applied perpendicular to the displacement, then in that case work done will always come to be 0. Okay, now what will be the work done due to F cos theta? See, F cos theta and the displacement are parallel to each other, as you can see. That means angle between them is 0. Oh, so yes, 0. So therefore cos 0 is nothing but 1. So the work done will come to be FDS, because we are taking the displacement to be FDS. Okay, because FDS cos 0 is 1, so it will be FDS. So this is the general formula, and from the particular angles you can calculate work done by the different components of forces. Now if I suppose F is denoted by Fx I cap plus Fy j cap plus Fz k cap, where Fx is the component of force in x direction, y direction, and this is in z direction. And as you know, ds is denoted by dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. So work done, if I calculate it in terms of components, is F dot ds. So I dot I will be 1, that is Fx dx. Then j dot j will be 1 plus Fy dy plus Fz dz. So this is the value of work done in terms of components. Okay, so now because work done is nothing but a dot product, therefore it is a scalar quantity, because as you know from the dot product you always get a scalar quantity. So work done is a scalar quantity and its SI unit is joules. Okay, so now if we want to define 1 joule, so as W is nothing but F dot ds, so if I put force to be 1 Newton and if the displacement is 1 meters, then we can say the work done will come to be 1 joule. Okay, so work done is said to be 1 joule when a force of 1 Newton displaces a body through 1 meter in direction of applied force. Okay, so if we apply a 1 Newton of force and a body displaces by a distance of 1 meter, then your work done will come to be 1 joules. Okay, so joule is the SI unit of work because work is a form of energy only. Now, if we talk about CGS unit of work, that is ergs. So let us derive a relation between joule and ergs. Okay, so now 1 Newton, as you have did in earlier classes, 1 Newton is 10 to the power 5 dyne and 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So to calculate 1 joule in terms of CGS units, see 1 joule is 1 Newton into 1 meter. So 1 joule is 10 to the power 5 dyne into 100 centimeter. So this is 10 to the power 5 into 100 dyne centimeter. So 1 joule is nothing but 10 to the power 7 ergs. That means 1 erg is nothing but 1 dyne and 1 centimeter. Okay. So this is a relation between joule and ergs, that 1 joule is equals to 10 to the power 7 ergs. Okay. Joule is SI unit and ergs is your CGS unit. Okay, so now let us talk about nature of work done. That is, work done on any object can be either positive, it can be either negative, or it can be zero. So let us discuss the cases for all of the three. Okay, so first is for positive work done. Okay, so before that, as you know, work done depends on theta, that is the angle between force and displacement, and the particular it depends on cos theta, that because work done is F ds cos theta. So let us draw first of all the graph of cos theta. So this is the graph of cos of theta and these are the values. Okay, so because cos 0 is, so this is the 0 degrees. Okay, so cos 0 is 1, cos 90 is 0 and so on. Okay, so now if you want positive work done, then theta should be less than 90 degree. As you can see here, if theta is less than 90 degree, your angle will be positive, your value of angle will come to be positive and therefore work done will also come to be positive. Okay, so if theta is less than 90 degree between F and ds, then work done will come to be positive. For example, look here, when a body free falls, is in free fall. Okay, so here which force is acting? You know the force of gravity is acting in downward direction, that is mg. So now clearly imagine force is acting in downward direction and displacement is also in downward direction. So what will be the angle between force and displacement here? Obviously it will be 0. So if theta is 0 and if I am saying at any instant of time it has displaced through a s distance, so work done will be mgs cos 0, that is cos 0 is 1, so work done will be mgs. That means here work done is positive and as you can see it is less than 90 degrees. Okay, so this is just an example. You can take any example where theta is less than 90 degree, you will get the work done to be positive. Let us discuss now negative work done. For negative work done, theta can be greater than 90 degree. For example, if I look here, see this is the force, this is a block kept on a floor. So if the applied force is in this direction, then there will be a, and if this floor is rough, then there will be a force of friction in opposite direction. So now the angle between the force of friction and displacement is 180 degrees. And as you know, cos 180 is minus 1. That means work done in this case will come to be negative, or you can say work done by a friction force is always negative. Okay, so if you have less than 90 degree angle, work done will be positive. If greater than 90 degree angle is there, work done will be negative. And let us see what if angle is 90 degrees. So see, for 0 work done, either F is 0, work done will come to be 0. If displacement is 0, work done will come to be 0. Or if theta is 90 degree, then also work done will come to be 0. As I have told earlier also, if force is applied perpendicularly to the direction of displacement, then work done is also 0. Okay, so in all the three cases, work done will come to be 0. For example, suppose this is a wall and you are pushing against a wall. Now can you tell which component is 0 in this case? See, obviously you are applying some force, that means force is not 0. you are applying force in this direction, but there is no displacement because wall does not move. That means because displacement is zero, therefore work done is zero in this case. Okay. Now a very interesting question arises here. If work done is zero while we push a wall, then why do we get tired? If work done is zero, that means no work is done, then why are we getting tired? So answer for that is, whenever we push the wall, our muscles are contracting and relaxing continuously. Therefore, due to this, internal energy is used up and we get tired. Okay, but work done is zero while we push the wall. Okay, so let us discuss one more case of zero work done. See, when you tie a stone with a thread and you rotate in a circular motion, then as you know, centripetal force acts towards the center, and at any particular point the direction of the displacement or its moving point will be given by the this vector like this. Okay, at any point you can just draw a tangent vector that will tell you about the displacement vector. Okay, so if you see the angle between this is the 90 degree, that is the angle between force and displacement at any particular point is again coming to be 90 degree. So work done by a centripetal force is always zero. Okay, similarly, for a simple pendulum, as you know, this is the simple pendulum, this is the bob. When the bob is, let us say it is at any position, at any instant of time, this is the tension along the string. So now at this particular point, if this is the extreme position, it will try to come in this direction now. So this will be its displacement vector. So again, the angle between force and displacement vector is coming to be 90 degrees. So that means work done by the tension will always be zero in the simple pendulum because displacement and the tension force is always at 90 degrees. Okay. Similarly, now look here, if there is a ball and you are applying a force in upward direction due to which it is moving upward. So there are two forces acting on it. First, which you are applying in upward direction, and second, its weight which is acting in downward direction, and the ball is moving in upward direction due to this force. So can you tell me what will be the work done due to this force? Either it will be positive or negative. See, because this force is in upward direction and displacement is also in upward direction, so angle is 0 degrees. So therefore work done by the force F will be positive. But if you are talking about mg, it is acting downward but displacement is upward. That means angle is 180 degree, which is greater than 90. So work done by mg will be negative. So it depends on the angle. Okay, as you can see, as in a single case, work done can be either positive or negative because it is a relative term. It depends with respect to which force you are talking. So if we are talking about this force, work done will come to be positive. If we are talking about this force, it will come to be negative. Okay, so the next is work done by a variable force. Till now we were studying the forces which were constant. So we were just using the formula work done is F dot ds, that is dot product of force and displacement vector. But what if work done, what if the force is a variable force? For example, look here, this is the force on y-axis and this is the distance on x-axis. So now as you can see, this is the graph for the force. As you can see, this force is depending on the distance. So it is a variable force. It is changing with the distance traveled. Okay. So let us draw this dotted line and let us denote it by A, B, F, E. Okay. So see this total area, or to cover any distance, we can divide that distance into small displacements, right? So I am dividing this total distance into this small displacement and I am denoting ACDE by a small displacement dx, or you can say DE is a small displacement dx. Okay, and this whole distance is covered by such small displacements only. So can you calculate what will be the work done for traveling this dx displacement? So dw will be nothing but force into displacement, so that is F dx. Okay, so F dx, and I am saying the direction is for force and displacement is same, so that means cos 0 will be 1. Okay, so F dx. Now we want to go from, see, let's say this point is at a distance of xa and this point is xb. We want to go from A to B. So the total distance we want to cover is from XA to XB. So we can integrate this term to get total work done from XA to XB. Okay. Now clearly look here, F is this length, dx is this length. So if you consider this as a rectangle, F is the length and dx is the breadth. So length into breadth, that is nothing but the area of this strip. So we can write down F dx to be area of the strip ACDE, right? Okay, so now if you integrate this will give you the total area under the curve between F and x-axis from XA to XB. That is, total work done for a variable force is nothing but area of ABFEA. Okay, because this is the small area, and when you will integrate from this point to this point, this will give the total area. Okay, so work done by a variable force is nothing but the area under the graph of force and displacement. Okay, so now let us see a question for a variable force. If F is equals to 4x I cap, what is the work done in moving a body from x is equals to 2 to x is equals to 4 meters? Now, see, because F is depending on x, that means this is a variable force. So we have to use integration method because no graph is given here. Suppose if graph was given to you, then you can calculate the area under the graph. So now how to calculate here? So we will be doing the integration. So this is force and this is our A point, this is our B point. So just use the formula integration of F dx from 2 to 4. And one more thing, remember this. See, force is in I cap, that is, it is in x direction, and displacement is also in x is equals to 2 to 4, that is, displacement is also in x direction. Therefore, we are using cos 0 because angle becomes 0. Suppose if you were given from y is equals to 2 to y is equals to 4, then force becomes in x direction, but then displacement becomes in y direction. That means now displacement and force are perpendicular to each other. In that case, work done will directly come to be 0. But in this case, because they are parallel, so the formula will be this. Just put the value of force, that is 4x I cap, and obviously dx is dx I cap, so I dot I, again it can be 1 only. Okay, so you can just put the value of F, that is 4x, and dx. Okay, so now you know very well how to do integration. 4 is a constant, it will come outside. This will be x square by 2. So just solve it by putting upper limits minus lower limits. So you will get the answer to be 24 joules. So this is how we can calculate the work done. Or if graph is given, then you can calculate the area under the graph for the variable force. Okay, so the next is conservative forces. Okay, so there are two types of forces, conservative forces and non-conservative forces. So first of all, we'll talk about conservative forces. So if work done by the force depends only on initial and final position of the body and is independent of path followed, then that force is said to be conservative force. That is, suppose if you have 2 points 1 and 2, and you go by 3 different paths from 1 and 2, then if work done by the force is only depending on initial and final points and is independent of path followed, then that force will be conservative force. Now clearly look here, it is depending only on these 2 points, and these 2 points are same here. Although path is different, but this work done is not depending on path. So therefore we can say work done by a conservative force between any two paths, between any 2 points is independent of path. That means either you go by this path or by this path or by this path. Work done by the conservative force will come to be same. Its value will be same because initial and final points are same. So now if I take 2 points 1 and 2, and suppose going from 1 to 2, the work done is 2 joules. Again in going from 2 to 1, see, it is just that initial and final points are interchanged while we go from 2 to 1. So magnitude will be same, but a minus sign will be used because now we are going in opposite direction. So in this case, the work done was 2 joule. In this case, the work done was minus 2 joule. So now if you calculate total work done, that will come to be 0 in going because initial and final point has become same. So we can say that the total work done by a conservative force in a closed path is always 0. Because work done in 1, 2 is equals to work done of 2, 1, but with a negative sign. Okay, so this is 2, 1. Okay, so these are the two properties of conservative forces, that it depends only on initial and final point and is independent of path followed, and the work done by it around any closed path will be 0. And one more thing, there is always a very common mistake in this definition. Generally, students write if force depends only on initial and final point. That is wrong. The definition is work done by the force depends. So remember this term, work done by the force. Okay, so example of conservative forces are gravitational forces, electrostatic forces. These all forces are conservative in nature. So the next is non-conservative forces, and this is nothing but just opposite to conservative forces. That is, if work done by the force depends on the path followed between any 2 points, then that force is said to be non-conservative force. For example, frictional forces are non-conservative forces. Okay. Okay, so I am giving you one question to solve. Suppose this is a man who is lifting a weight of mass m on his head and he is moving in forward direction. Then you have to calculate what would be the work done in this case by the men. Okay students, so after going through today's lecture, you can do question number 1 and 2 from chapter number 6 of your NCERT book. Thank you.